Welcome to Elevate Springfield, where we will dive into strategies and stories that help you rise to your full potential. Each episode, we'll talk about how you can take intentional steps to elevate your life and your business while making a meaningful impact on those around you. Along the way, we're going to bring in the change makers from our community that are already elevating. We'll bring the actionable strategies, you bring the discipline and follow through, and together we can elevate Springfield. All right, let's go. Welcome in, everyone. You are listening to Elevate Springfield. Robert Farrell here, certified 10X coach, speaker, and mentor, bringing you actionable strategies. You bring the discipline and follow through, and together we're going to elevate Springfield. Well, I'm looking forward to another phenomenal week here in the capital city. A lot of great things going on. Hey, I don't know about y'all, but I feel like our community is really on the cusp of some explosive growth. You feel that momentum? I certainly do. We have so many great people that are doing so many great things out there. And then we have these massive projects that are coming in, from the sports park to all the energy projects that we have going on. I feel like Springfield is primed for some massive growth moving forward, and I am here for it, and I know y'all are here for it too. Well, today, speaking of great things going on in the community, I've got a guest that joined us, and I'll tell you, my man Will Formia from Masco probably said it best on a social post. He said, "This gentleman is varsity in getting involved," and I certainly second that. This gentleman is in a lot of different things in the community, making our community a better place and really impacting a lot of lives here, while also impacting businesses on the cybersecurity side. So hey, let's get right to it, Mr. Nicholas Koch. After the break. Since 2000, TechGuard Security has been helping businesses of all sizes around the globe strengthen their cybersecurity, meet compliance standards, and most importantly, stay secure. From risk assessments to security awareness training and everything in between, TechGuard is your trusted partner in keeping your business protected. TechGuard Security, your one-stop shop for all things cybersecurity. Locally trusted, globally proven. All right, and we are back. Joining me in the studio is Nicholas Koch from TechGuard Security. Nicholas, how we doing today?
Doing good. Another day in paradise.
Absolutely. So we're going to learn all things TechGuard. We're going to talk a little bit about cybersecurity. I know you are highly involved in the community, different organizations and associations, so we'll touch on that too. But let's learn a little bit about Nick. Tell us a little bit about you and your background.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. My name is Nicholas Koch, born and raised here in Chatham. Went through Glenwood, K through 12. After that, I went to University of Mississippi, or Ole Miss, as more people know it. Studied criminal justice there for 4 years. I graduated with a degree in criminal justice and a minor in professional writing. From there, I knew I wasn't ready for a big boy job, so I did what most normal people do. I went and got a job in Alaska working on a salmon ferry.
What most normal people do?
Yeah. So I worked up there for a summer from about May to September. Really enjoyed my time up there. Pretty well, 95% of the time disconnected, no cell service. Thoroughly enjoyed that. And then when I moved back to Springfield for a little bit. I just kind of did some odd end jobs, some landscaping type stuff. And then from there, I moved down to Alton with my wife, my now wife, when she was in dental school. So down there, I worked as a federal background investigator. So doing security clearances, interviewing anybody from, high ranking in the military to the kid right out of high school going into the military. From there, I transitioned. I actually, for about 6-7 months, I was a licensed social worker. I was a foster care case manager. Shout out to all the case managers. I couldn't do it. Just the stress of being responsible for somebody, literally being responsible for somebody's life was too much for me. Great work that they're doing, and I wish they had more resources. But I knew I wanted to get back to kind of the security side of things. So that's when I really kind of started to explore cybersecurity. In 2020, I started at TechGuard Security. Been there ever since, and really enjoyed it. And then in 2022, when my wife finished dental school, we moved back to Springfield. Both our families are here. Both our families are very important to us. So wanted to be around our family. And so we moved back here. And since 2022, I've still stayed with TechGuard, work fully remote from my house in Chatham. So I enjoy I enjoy that. I still get down to the office, probably once a month for team outings, things like that, see clients and stuff like that. Really have enjoyed it. I've been there. It could be 5 years this September. So looking forward to it.
Congrats on that.
Oh, thanks.
So what drew you to Alaska? Like I said, I mean, that's pretty cool, pretty big shift right out to say, hey, I'm going to go to Alaska and do this. What drew you to that?
Yep. It's a bit different than Central Illinois, let alone Mississippi as well. So I've always been into the outdoors, hiking, fishing, kayaking. I've really been just an outdoors person my whole life, kind of growing up. Knew I wanted to do something different. So one of my friends actually at Ole Miss, his fraternity brother, he was in a different fraternity, but he was the boss up there and ran the ferry. So he went up the summer before, and just talking to him, he was like, dude, I can, I'll put in a good word if you want to apply. And sure enough, I applied and got it and moved up there, lived in, essentially a shed for 4 months, no running water. We had one light bulb, slept in a sleeping bag. It was pretty crunchy, if you will.
Sure.
It was good. I really enjoyed it. And just being disconnected, now being in the tech space, it sounds weird to say that I enjoyed being disconnected.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. What were some of the takeaways from being in that more disconnected in a connected world?
Yeah. I think just my ability to have a face-to-face conversation. I'm a big people person. I love getting to know about people, their background, where they come from, what they do, why they do what they do, stuff like that. So, I mean, I didn't have, there was no, you'd sit on the ferry and there's no getting your phone out to scroll because you don't have any service. So it's, what do? You start up a conversation. How's your day going? Where are you from? Because we got people from all over the world, all walks of life, were coming across the ferry. So it was unique. It was fun. I really enjoyed that.
That's awesome, especially if you're the outdoorsman type of guy. That's an awesome spot for you.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, and when I was up there, it was sunlight, 23, 22 hours out of the day. And we'd go on hikes at 10 p.m. at night when we got off work, and you get done at 1 or 2 in the morning, and it's still, and when they say it gets dark in the summer, it's like sunset.
Oh, sure.
So it's still, pretty well light out.
Yeah. Does that mess with your, I'm a big health and wellness guy. Does that mess with your circadian rhythm when you're up there? You struggle to get to sleep when it's still light out all the time?
Definitely invest in blackout curtain. We had just one little window, and I mean, by little, I mean maybe like 2 feet by foot. I mean, it was small, but yeah, we definitely had curtains over it to make sure it was dark out there. But it is weird though. I mean, it's 10 o'clock. I should probably get going to bed. I got to work tomorrow at, 6 a.m. But but it's still sun out. Like, it's, let's go do something. But you quickly adjust, definitely.
Gotcha. Well, Ole Miss. Anytime I'm talking to an SEC person, how's the SEC's known for their football too? How's the football atmosphere at Ole Miss? Were you into all that?
Yep, it is. I was, and it is something. The slogan for the SEC is "It just means more," and it truly does. You go down there on a Saturday. Oxford, when I was there, is a town of about, I think it was like 20,000 people that live in the town of Oxford. Student base was about 24,000 when I was there. But on a big game day weekend, when we're playing LSU or Alabama or another SEC school, I mean, there's about 250 to 300,000 people that are in that town. And when I say in that town, I mean, everybody's in the Grove, which is where you tailgate. And it truly is. Football's a religion down there.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was a lot of fun. Got a good education as well. Let's not forget that part.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Got to make sure my parents know I did learn something. But no, it really brought me a lot of connections. Just friends from all over the country now. It's my wife and I travel a lot. And so when we do travel, I've got friends in pretty well, all the major cities. So it's always like, oh, hey, let me text Steven or let me text John, we're going to be in their neck of the woods, or I'm going to be, out in the Northeast. I know Jeff's out there. Like I can, make those connections and meet up with those people. Yeah. So it's nice. It's fun. I'm really glad with my time there and learned a lot. So.
Yeah, that's always one thing. I've never gone down and went to an actual SEC game. Tons of U of I football games and all that, but I've never made it down to see an SEC game. I'd love to go see an Alabama game, or maybe Alabama Ole Miss. How about that?
There you go.
Something like that. But one of these days I'll run down there and do that.
Definitely, yeah. And Oxford from here, Oxford's where Ole Miss is. Like 6.5 hours to Springfield. I calculated from my parents' house, it's about 3 or 4 turns from me to leave their driveway and pull into my dorm my freshman year, because it's all straight south on 55. So really easy drive. yeah, great experience down there.
That's awesome. You still go back games every now and again, or to visit down there every now and again?
Try to. I got very lucky. My sister-in-law is, I think, 5 or 6 years younger than I am. And she actually, I guess she thinks enough of me to value my opinion. She actually went to Ole Miss.
Sure.
So it was a great reason to go down, have a place to stay, visit her, go to the games, and just hang out in Oxford. Oxford's a unique area. It's really something special if you've never been.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out sometime.
Yeah.
So you also talk about the federal background investigator. Is that the name of it?
Yep.
Tell us a little bit more about that. I've had, being in education, occasionally we'd have somebody come back and try and talk to us about a former student or something like that. Is that the type of thing you're talking about there when they're trying to get security clearances and everything?
Yep. So, so really I covered a 90-mile radius around St. Louis. That's when I was doing it. That's where I was. So spent a lot of time at Boeing. Boeing, where they build the military grade planes is out right there in St. Louis, right by Lambert. Scott Air Force Base was also in my territory, if you will. But yeah, I mean, it's anybody from your kid who just graduated high school that's joining the military all the way up to high-ranking generals. I also got sent on 2 different assignments. One, I was in West Palm Beach, Florida for a month. So spent late November, early December in West Palm Beach. Absolutely no complaints.
Yeah, I was gonna say, nothing to complain about there.
Yeah, no complaints there. And then in the following October, I was in Idaho Falls for a month out there on an assignment. Idaho Falls, a lot of people, what, Idaho? That sounds horrible. I loved Idaho.
Yeah.
It was incredible. Why I was there was the nuclear laboratory is out there. So every day I was driving out to that site. I'm interviewing, anybody that's involved with the nuclear program, anything along those lines. And yeah, what I would do is you go and talk to people. I really enjoyed that because I was walking in the door and I'd be interviewing, high school kid, getting their perspective on whoever's getting the clearance all the way up to their boss, the former teacher, like you said, all the way to, interviewing some very high-ranking, generals in the military, directors out at the National Nuclear Laboratory. Really, I think that helped my personal skills, my people skills.
Sure.
Kind of made you realize, everybody gets up in the morning, puts their pants on the same way, right?
Right.
We're all human. Nobody's, titles. They're out there, but that doesn't mean that person's any different than you. Just really getting to learn to talk to different people, how different people converse, picking up on different body language type stuff like that. I really enjoyed it. It was an interesting line. My least favorite part was going to talk to the neighbors, because you knock on a door, you're holding a badge. You're not always greeted with a smiling face.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. But you can learn the good, bad, and ugly about somebody real quick by what their neighbors say.
I can imagine. So Idaho Falls, we've driven out west a couple of times over the last year, and I guess I don't really know the landscape of Idaho Falls, but when I'm out west, it's gorgeous. I love it out there. What's Idaho Falls like? Is it very mountainous and hilly and like some of the other areas there, or what's it like?
Yeah, so Idaho Falls is actually, again, being a big outdoors person, it was perfect for me because I was able to go, it's about 45 minutes to an hour to the Grand Tetons, just across the border there in Wyoming. And then Yellowstone is about 2.5 hours. So when I would get done with my work on Friday, I would bust my tail Monday to Friday morning, usually cut out halfway through, do all my interviews, get all that done, reports typed up, everything. And then I would head out. I had a rental car. I would find a parking lot that would allow me to sleep in my car out there and go kind of car camping. Now, not something I would probably do.
Right.
But when you're younger, it's okay. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was really great. Idaho Falls, the city itself, was a unique town as well. Idaho State isn't too far away. And then BYU has a campus. It's just an hour north. So I did some interviews there. So kind of getting in with and interviewing, that's a whole different realm of culture out there, if you will. So I learned a lot from that perspective as well.
Oh, I bet. No, it's beautiful out there. We were just out at the Tetons in Yellowstone just this past year, and just driving through that whole area, and they're just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's incredible
compared to the flatlands that we have out here.
The cornfield across the street.
Exactly.
Right. It's a bit different.
I loved it. So you've been at TechGuard for 5 years now. Tell us a little more about what TechGuard does.
Yep. So TechGuard's a woman-owned cybersecurity company. We've been in business since 2000, so this is our 25th year. I'm excited about that, especially when you look in the tech space. A lot of companies, 5 years in business is they've it's new. Everything is new in the tech space. So being around 25 years, we're proud of that.
Absolutely.
We got our start on the government side of things, the federal government. Doing contracting work, still involved in that space. In about 2015, 2016, that area, we spun up a relationship with a global AIG, the global cyber insurance carrier. So that's really allowed us to expand to worldwide now. We have clients all over the world. I've got clients in India, Germany, anywhere across Europe, Asia, South Africa, South America, and then here, of course, in the U.S. So again, back to those personal skills of being able to talk to people, being flexible, has really helped. We're really a one-stop shop for anything you may need cybersecurity. We have a solution for anything from email security to endpoint. Training and phishing is a big one. So we have a platform where you can send out simulated phishing emails to your employees, make sure they're paying attention. You can also send out trainings to your employees. We do all that. We've got some incident response stuff, and then kind of something that we've been doing for the longest or for a long time has been our what's called pen testing or penetration testing. Essentially what that is ethical hacking. We do a lot of that. That's all done in-house. I think that's something that kind of separates TechGuard, is that our employees are all U.S. citizens. They're all based here in the U.S. All kind of TechGuard, we're based out of O'Fallon, Illinois. I'm right outside of Scott Air Force Base. Yeah. So when I'm down in the office, I love it because I look out my window and all day, I'm just seeing, different fighter planes or the, different military planes landing and coming and going and stuff like that. It's loud, but it's enjoyable.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've got, like I said, clients all over the world. So it's always interesting just to, obviously talk to clients about what they need, but also just learn about kind of their area, what's going on. I'm a big sports guy. So, NFL playoffs are going on. I've got a client in Philadelphia and just happened to be talking to him, working on something about kind of coincidentally just the weeks leading up to the Super Bowl, and just every week talking to him, like, man, what's going to happen this week? You guys got a good shot. And just talking to everybody is fun. I enjoy that aspect.
And they certainly had a good shot this last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Woo.
They
had a good game.
So, yeah.
So,
yep.
Now, how do you manage? You say you have clients all over the world, so that's all over on different time zones.
Yep.
So how do you manage all that, having clients in all these different time zones when you're in central time zone right here? Just curious.
Yeah. One word: flexibility. It's a two-way street. I've got some clients that are, nope, we're meeting at this time. And so it's like, okay, I'll take a meeting at 9 p.m. That's fine. And I've got most of them though, we're able to coordinate, either it's starting a meeting at 7 a.m. my time, 7 p.m. their time, and things along those lines. Or Europe's not too bad. We meet first thing our morning. They're late afternoon. And truthfully, sometimes it works out great because we can hop on that call and figure out what they need. And we've got a whole business day to kind of come up with a plan, put together whatever material we need to. They're going to bed.
Essentially while they're sleeping.
Yeah, right. And then they wake up first thing in the morning and boom, that's what they need is right there in their inbox. They're able to filter through it and then come back and let us know, okay, this is great. This is what we need, or we need something else. So it's really just being flexible. I've learned a lot about just different cultures and holidays. Taking holiday in Europe, things just really slow down, which is totally different. I think things here in the U.S. do slow down a little bit over the summer,
right?
With vacations and whatnot. But especially around the holidays, around Christmas and stuff like that, you'll send an email and, late in mid-November, and it's like, man, we're going to meet in January. Right. I wish I could respond like that. But no,
yeah, because even here, like you said, in the summer times, it feels like it slows down a little bit. But when you're on vacation, most of us are still answering emails and doing different things, and you know, like that, not completely shutting it down. So
we're all, at this day and age, we're all still connected. Right. So you do get, but the out of office where it's like, I'll respond in 2 months. It's like, wow.
Whoa.
Like, I wish I could set an out of office for 2 months, but
I could imagine that'd be one of the probably the coolest things about that, being able to, learn about all those different cultures in real time with those people. Without even having to go over there, you're learning about it.
Yeah, and learning a lot about how much they pay attention to what we're doing. And with the election stuff just passed, like, I swear they knew more about politics, our politics, than I did. Talking about that stuff. And my background when I get a call is the Springfield skyline, if you will.
Right.
It's got the old state capitol and the new capitol behind it, kind of view there. So I've had several clients be like, hey, what city is that? A few have known Springfield, and I tell them, and they say, oh, Abe Lincoln, or I always get Homer Simpson. Is another one. But it's just interesting. I'm a bit of a Springfield homer, so I enjoy, no pun intended there, but I enjoy talking about Springfield and letting people know Route 66. A lot of people know that and stuff like that.
We got a lot of great things here.
Yeah, we do.
You ever get to go out and visit those clients in the other countries? You ever do that?
Not yet. Thankfully, with cybersecurity, a lot of it can be done remotely.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff we do, some of the services we do offer are we can go on site, but just from a cost perspective, it's so much easier just to do it remote versus having to pay for travel and all of that. But yeah, we're able to do 99% of our work fully remote via Teams calls, phone calls, emails, texts, things like that.
Sure. So how does TechGuard elevate their clients here in Springfield, here locally?
Yeah. So I've got several local clients here and still growing there. And what we do, genuinely, we're educating. Cybersecurity for a lot of people is an unknown. They don't know about it. They don't think they need it until it's too late. We used to say, cybersecurity, it's not if, but when. Now it's you need it. It's real. I don't think we hear about it a whole lot locally, just because Springfield's still small enough of a market where things can be containerized. If a cyber incident happens, keep that in-house. Nobody's finding out. I hear all the time from, just talking to local business leaders, business owners and stuff like that, where it's like, oh yeah, last year we got hacked. And it's just like, you don't hear about it. So just making sure people are aware of what's out there, the current and trending threats. With our training and phishing platform, a lot of organizations locally aren't training their employees. They might send out, an email to the team saying, hey, don't click on phishing
Right, don't
links.
click on this, don't do.
But really from a cost perspective, it's not expensive to run a training phishing platform. We can actually run that for you to educate your employees, send out those phishing emails, and really just keeping cybersecurity on the front of their mind. We're involved with several different cyber organizations. One of them is the Safe House Initiative. It's really a great organization. It's totally non-for-profit. And what they do is they are designed to bring on guests from these large cybersecurity companies to talk about cybersecurity for small to medium-sized businesses. So I'm always listening to those podcasts. And we do a lot of work with schools, K-12 and higher ed. So there's a podcast out there called K-12 Tech Talk that I thoroughly enjoy. I listen to all the time. It's just from their perspective. So I'm hearing what other tech directors are dealing with, their struggles in the cyber and IT space, educating myself, and then I'm able to take that and educate other customers and help them improve their cybersecurity posture.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day.
It gives you a glimpse into some more of the issues that they're having and how you guys could potentially help them. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's not even stuff necessarily that we do or that we can do. It's just making sure they're aware of what's out there and how we can help, and just, keeping them aware is the biggest thing.
What's on those phishing campaigns that you do, what's the percentage of companies that come away completely clean and nobody clicks on a bad link?
Yeah, big fat goose egg.
That's what I thought.
Zero. There's always somebody that's going to click. You send out a Netflix phishing template saying your account's going to be expired on a Friday afternoon. People are clicking. We had a car dealership out of Texas that sent one. They sent it out on Friday, the Good Friday before Easter. And it was a thanks for your hard work this spring. Here's an Easter gift, a $10 Starbucks gift card. Within 5 minutes, hundreds of people clicked it. And it's really all levels too. A lot of people think, I know what a phishing email looks like, but they're getting tough now. AI is just accelerating.
Some of them are getting pretty good.
AI is definitely accelerating that. I've been on calls with Fortune 500 companies that, let's send this to our CEO as a test. And within a couple minutes, the CEO is clicking that link.
Right.
And a lot of people don't think about it, but your CEO or your high level people are going to have access to more things. So they're actually targeted at a higher percentage. It's called whale phishing or spear phishing.
Oh, I bet.
So they're going after those folks because they know they've got all of the admin access, things like that.
Yeah, you get a frontline person with very limited access, you're not going to be able to do much.
Yep.
You get the person that has access to 90% of the stuff, then you get a lot more. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, there's very rarely are there. Now, we do have some businesses that kind of like to pad the stats, if you will, and they'll send out, very easy to spot phishing emails. And they say, oh, we only got, 2 people phished. Sure. And then we have others that are, a lot more serious about it. Because 90% of cyber attacks start with a phishing email. I say this all the time. Your employees are your greatest asset, but they're also your biggest liability. We have a lot of good technology. TechGuard obviously, but outside of TechGuard, cyberspace, IT space, there's a lot of really good tools out there. But still, the biggest vulnerability is human mistake. Cyber criminals know that. It's easier to hack a human than it is to hack hack a tool,
Right.
if you will.
Yeah, you can have the best firewalls, the best software, but if you have a human that essentially opens up the door for the person to come the person to come in, right? That's what they're doing essentially, right? Is when you click on that, you're kind of just opening the door and letting them in, right?
Yeah.
So,
and a lot of our services and stuff that we do helps with cyber insurance to help them be compliant, potentially lower. No insurance rates are going down at this point, but help them mitigate the risk is what we're doing. We're in the proactive space. So I enjoy that, helping customers and companies, of course, get and stay secure.
So you mentioned with AI, it's getting more difficult with some of those. How is AI impacting cybersecurity in general? Maybe you have the phishing emails, but then anything else it's affecting?
Yeah. So phishing emails is huge. That's kind of the primary area. I mean, it's no longer the misspellings, the bad punctuation, poor grammar, things like that. I mean, it takes a minute to go in and craft up an email, even using just ChatGPT. As with anything, there's a good use and there's a bad use. The good guys, TechGuard and companies like us, are using AI to help detect those threats, help detect vulnerabilities and attacks, things like that, to be able to alert humans so they can act on those, or even the AI can mitigate those. At the same time, there's also AI that's being used maliciously. There's, on the dark web, there's AIs out there that you can use to write bad code, malicious code, things like that are out there. Deep fakes is another big one. There's a company out of Hong Kong that the guy transferred $25 million because he was on a phone call with his boss. Now, there should be some other protocols in place to prevent that. Nobody should be able to transfer that amount of money out. There should be different verifications. And I mean, if somebody tells you transfer $25 million, first thing I'm doing is laughing. I mean, nobody's like, oh, yep, no problem.
I got you.
Go ahead and do that. Yeah. If that's the case, I want to work where they work. Money is good there.
Exactly.
Yeah, AI is definitely ramping it up in terms of cyber crime. Like I said, the deep fakes is a big one. Voice altering, stuff like that, with the phone calls, robocalling. All it takes is a few seconds of them having your voice clip and boom, they can replicate your voice and really kind of say whatever you want to say.
Yeah, it's amazing what it can do now. I've tried it just for fun. I recorded a few minutes of myself and I put it into one of those to see if I put in a whole script, what did it sound like? You're like, that's not exactly me, but that's pretty close to me.
Yeah.
If somebody else was listening to that knows me but doesn't hear me every single day, they would probably think it was me.
Yeah, exactly. That's like somebody you meet at a chamber event or a local first event. You know what I mean? And somebody, it's like, oh yeah, I've talked to Robert. Like, oh, but I mean, I can't tell you the pitch of his voice.
Right.
Things like that. So definitely, I don't think we should be scared of AI. I think we should be embracing it. Yes, I do think there should be some guardrails, and those need to be pretty high guardrails. But I do think we need to kind of learn to live with it. I think especially in the small business area, I think there's a lot of positivity that can come from it, a lot of growth that can help small businesses, especially, and really kind of use those tools and benefit from them.
No, completely agree. I use AI quite a bit for efficiency's sake.
Yeah.
There's tons of different things you can use it to save yourself some time.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah. Yep. It's definitely a good starting point, but not a good ending point.
Right.
If that makes sense. Always, and for businesses, if any business owners are listening, you should be talking to your employees about what they're putting into ChatGPT and things like that. Definitely don't be putting business information in there, customer information, because it's all open source.
Yeah, I was going to say, tell them why is that? Because I know why, but why is that?
Yeah. So it's all open source in there. So I mean, technically that's being stored somewhere and that's being used for other organizations as well.
And for anybody that's not tech set, what does open source mean for anybody that's not IT related?
Yes, open source means is really all it's doing is just pulling from the web at a incredibly fast rate. I mean, you type in a prompt into ChatGPT if you haven't used it. You say, craft me an email to Robert about why he should be doing this, whatever it is. And in less than 10 seconds, you're going to have an email right there that's perfectly crafted. And what that's doing is it's taking that and just putting that into a big pool, if you will. I mean, then it's just learning off of that data set. And that's another thing about AI is that it's good, but it's not good for current events. Think about it like a trash can. A trash can is filled on May 15th. Anything after May 15th, it's not collecting. So it's not being able to produce reports off of that.
Yeah, no, I've done that before too. Just testing that fact because that interests me too. To put in something, it's like, yep, that was true at this point, and now it's a little bit different now. Right?
Yeah.
What I've found, it does a pretty good job with a lot of the things I use it for, but it's like you said, it's one of those things where it's maybe 90%.
Yeah.
It gets you there, but not quite there, where you still need to, don't just rely on it and expect it's going to be perfect every time. You still need to have a little bit of a human touch there to make sure that it is saying exactly what you want it to, what you want it to say, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So they do a lot of education, and specifically, I see you a lot in schools. You do a lot of, you read with one of the groups. You spoke to my Explore for Success group about cybersecurity. Tell us about some of your endeavors there with educating younger folks.
Yeah. So that's just honestly just kind of a passion project, if you will, I guess, if you want to call it that. Just educating the youth. Our kids, I don't have kids, but our youth, the generation, right now it's growing up in K-12 is so much more plugged in than any generation before. It is a totally new frontier. Anybody that knows a kid, has a kid, knows how naive they are. Never happened to me, stuff like that. That's their mindset. It's, so what I want to do is just educate the youth on how to be, it's okay to use social media, but set some parameters, right? There's a lot of very bad incidents that happen to kids, especially high school aged students that are on social media, exploitation, blackmail. I mean, I don't want to get all negative and dark, but I mean, it's real. And there are lives that are being lost off of teens not knowing how to use social media, whether it's, when you think of social media, it's more than just your Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. You got to throw in Xbox, PlayStation, Switch. Roblox is a big one as well. They think they're talking to somebody, but that somebody that they're talking to is not their friend. It's an adult that's doing some things they shouldn't be. So
you did a post on that not too long ago. I thought I saw that on your page or on TechGuard's page, one of the two.
Yep. So just trying to educate those kids how to be safe, how to be smart, how to use social media properly. I think a big thing too is a lot of kids don't think that social media is forever. They post something. They shouldn't be posting it. Well, people can take screenshots. They can send it to their friends. It's out there. I know people that have lost jobs, have lost college scholarships from stuff like that that's out there. So just how to be smart while using social media. I mean, maybe if even just one kid makes their Facebook account private, I've done my job. And that's really what I've enjoyed. Like you said, I've talked with various high school classes, your organization, some church youth groups. I'm always more than happy to have those conversations. I've got a, slideshow basically put together, really pretty straightforward. And I just enjoy hearing their perspective. And my favorite is always whenever you ask somebody, what's on your account? And then you go to that account and I can find out, I've been able to find where a senior in high school is able to find out where he's going to college. I was able to find his mom and dad and his younger brother's name, all because just public information, because his account is public. And he wants it out there. So that kid, I'd like to think that he made his account private after that. So just trying to educate people. And that's one thing I think TechGuard is cybersecurity awareness is something we're passionate about, and just making sure people know, a lot of people don't know about the risk that's out there and what they're putting out there. And you don't know what you don't know.
No, that's awesome work. That's phenomenal that you're out there doing that.
Thank you.
And I think, like you said, it's helping students, no doubt about it. So when you're talking about jobs, a lot of times people are comb through that social media first thing, even before you interview, and that could make it so you don't get a job, don't even get an interview, let alone get the job.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So we've talked a lot about how TechGuard can elevate their clients and a lot of things you guys do, some of the podcasts you listen to for that. But how about on the personal side? What are some things you do to elevate your life on the personal side?
Yep. So I'm a very avid walker.
Hey, me too. Yeah, I do that.
I love it. Every morning I'm up about 5:45, 6 a.m. Usually try to get in 3 to 5 miles every day. Throw in a podcast, whether it's one of the ones I mentioned earlier, the cybersecurity ones, or I'm a big comedy fan. So I listen to a lot of the comedy podcasts. Always listen to this one Monday mornings.
Appreciate it.
Gets me motivated going into the week. I've really enjoyed those. I always take away some, kind of gets me fired up before I walk back, sit down at my desk for the day and get my day started. So I think exercising, and then also being able to decompress. I think we bust our tail Monday to Friday. You've got to be able to kind of let go when you're not working, and being able to relax a little bit, whether that's spending time with family. Like I said earlier, I enjoy being outside. So whether it's on the boat, kayaking, going for a walk with my dog or my wife, just kind of letting go. Life's too serious to take serious all the time. So it's kind of a quote. Sometimes it may have gotten me in some trouble, but sure. I think it's something I kind of live by. One other way too, I personally enjoy is volunteering, giving back. I'm really passionate about that. I volunteer with a lot of organizations. I'm here in Springfield and Chatham, serve on a lot of boards. I'm in the area, everything from, I'm just getting on the United Way board. I'm on one of their committees. I'm the chair-elect for RISE, a young professionals group through the chamber. I'll also be the chair next year. I'm on the local first board. My wife and I volunteer about every Tuesday with Wouldn't It Be Lovely? Great organization. Really love what they're doing there. I'm part of Real Men Read. It's a program where you go and read to a first or third grade class. Sharpened up my reading skills. So I've enjoyed that.
How fun is that because they're pretty young kids in there. That's got to be pretty fun, right?
It's great. They all love it. And I made the mistake the first time I was there, one kid asked if we could take a picture. It says, okay, how about we get the whole class? We'll take a selfie.
Yeah.
So now I walk in the door and they're asking to take a selfie.
I see them. Yeah.
We got to read first, guys. Let's
right.
pull it in. Been involved with them, Titan Fuel, and Chatham. I'm also a member of the Chatham JCs. So really and I probably forgot some in there, but Habitat for Humanity is another organization is near and dear to my heart. I enjoy volunteering there. I think they're doing great work. So just being involved, giving back. You have a tough day at work, you have a tough week at work, go and volunteer. Promise you'll feel better about yourself. And it's really a boost in your pride. At the end of the day, you're helping somebody else. That's kind of, I think, what we're here to do, right?
Absolutely. That's amazing how that motivates you too, though, doesn't it? When you go out, if you're having a bad day, things aren't going quite the way you hoped, you go out and help somebody out, volunteering or whatever. It's just amazing how that lifts you and motivates you in addition to the people that you're helping.
Yeah. And I tell my wife all the time, it's like, you're going to volunteer to help somebody, but sometimes I think I leave and I helped myself more than I did, whatever action. Wouldn't it be lovely? I always joke I haven't gotten the promotion to using color. I'm a sander and a paint, sander and a primer.
Okay, gotcha.
Wouldn't it be lovely?
Yeah.
I don't want the promotion to using color, but yeah, there's times where we leave there. It's like, man, just hearing what other people are dealing with, what other people are going through. It's like, man, my problems aren't
right.
This is nothing. I'm okay. I can. I got this, just kind of that positive. And I think, it's a great way to meet people.
No doubt about it.
You meet people you would have no other connections with. My wife serves on the board at Wouldn't It Be Lovely, so we volunteer all the time there. And it's like the amount of people, a generation before me that we've met and now see out in public and stuff and have conversations with, I would never have a reason to cross paths with them. So,
and you create a bond too, because you're doing something important together, Well, that's what's cool about that.
Yeah. And genuinely, if you're volunteering, at an organization like that, you're around good people. That's, I think everybody, there's the saying, you are who you surround yourself with.
No doubt about it.
That's true as can be.
So you're highly involved in all those things you just said. How important is that for people in our community just to get plugged in, Maybe they're not going to be involved in a dozen or so like you just talked about, but hey, they're wanting to choose something. How important is that for people just to get plugged in and do something?
Yeah. I think it's critical. I think a lot of people, especially Central Illinois, complain about it. There's nothing to do here. It's so boring.
Right.
We're in the middle of a cornfield. It is what you make of it. Go out and get involved. Find a passion, something that you're passionate about. There's an organization out there, I promise you, that something that you're passionate about that you can get involved with. If you're a sports person, consider coaching a youth team, getting involved with a sports camp. If you like to do woodwork, Wouldn't It Be Lovely or Habitat for Humanity, stuff like that. There's something to be said for getting involved with emphasis on your community. Make it what it is. And I always say you could go to New York City where everything is going on, and if you just sat in your apartment and didn't do anything, it'd be the same thing as sitting here and doing nothing.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you're at; it's what you're doing. Get involved. I was talking to your group the other night about getting involved, and the one young man said he does some BMX riding and helps teach the younger kids how to do that. It's like, do you realize those little kids think that you are the coolest?
They do.
And by you doing that, those kids are going to want to do that when they're your age. They're going to see, that's what John did. I want to get back and help out those kids so they can learn how to ride a bike and go about this.
Yeah, no, it's going to have a long-lasting impact.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't always know the impact you're having on somebody in the short term, but later on down the line, it has a tremendous impact on their direction or what they ended up doing.
Exactly.
So,
and that's, I post on social media about just different community things that I'm involved with and doing. I've had people say you don't have to post everything you do. And it's like, I don't care if you know what I'm doing or not. The reason I'm posting it is to show you that spend one less hour scrolling on social media, spend one less hour watching Netflix, and just go volunteer. You can do it. We all have time. You got to make the time sometimes, but you can do it. Go out and get involved, and just trying to encourage other people to get involved. And there's nothing means more to me than when people have said or reached out saying like, "Hey, how can I get involved with that?"
Yeah. Hey, I saw you did this there. How can I help?
Exactly.
What can I do?
Exactly. With that Real Men Read program, I've had multiple people across the community, various generations. I had a lady from Wouldn't It Be Lovely that her husband just retired and he's looking for something to do. He loves kids. It's like, so she reached out and said, how do you get involved? I just sent him the link to how he can get signed up. Same thing with like Titan Fuel. Had some of the younger guys like Will Formia, and those guys are, how do we get involved? Come on, let's go. Like, well, I'll go with you guys. Like, let's do it. So yeah, just getting involved. And I promise you that the feeling that you have after giving back and supporting your community, I mean, like I said earlier, I'm a homer for Springfield.
Hey, that's good stuff. That's good.
I love it. I don't know why exactly. I was born and raised here, but I really do think we've got a lot of good things coming with, down the pipeline with the sports park and everything else that we've got going on in the community. And it's just get involved, be a part of something bigger than yourself. I
love Springfield homers. I mean, I've got a podcast called Elevate Springfield, right? So yeah, come on. Yeah, right. You mentioned a second ago about time, right? I'm big on controlling time rather than managing time, right? Yeah. So, because a lot of times people's excuse for not doing things is I don't, have time, right? So, how do you control your time? How do you prioritize that time? Because you're in a ton of different stuff.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Just really being aware is a big thing. I mean, I've got. Obviously with work, there's things that I've got to be on these calls. I've got to do this. That obviously comes first. Well, after family and stuff like that, but sure. That comes right there first. And then really just, do I really need to go to the bar and have a drink with a buddy every week, or can I cut that out to maybe doing that once a month and I can go do volunteer elsewhere? So really just making sure you're cognizant of where you're spending your time. Like I said earlier too, I mean, you are who you spend your time around.
No doubt about it.
So just being aware of that, having your, what's most important to you, what are your staples, if you will, and then being able to kind of branch off of those and keeping those kind of center or front of mind, if you will.
So we all have the same 168 hours in a week. You're able to pack a lot of stuff into that 168 hours. You're talking about for maybe one less hour scrolling, one less hour on Netflix can open up that hour to volunteering, can open up that hour to really making an impact on Springfield or other people in the community.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I think, I'm a early riser, so getting up early, getting my walk in, I'm back at my desk 7:15. I'm starting my day early. If I've got to run out to a chamber event or something like that, I've started early, so I've got that time to kind of make up. And, if I need to log back on after those events, that's fine too. Like I can, type, I can get on my computer for 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, whatever I need to. That's one of the kind of benefits, I guess, of being remote, but also just time management is critical. It's critical.
You said you walk like 3.5 to 5 miles. Do you have like a step count that you try to get every day?
Yep. So I've got, so not necessarily every day, but I use Strava, the app Strava. My brother for Christmas this year got me the premium version. I'd always used the free one. I was too cheap to pay for it. So what I did last year was I had a spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet where every day after my walk, I'd put in my miles and I totaled it up. This year with the premium, it gives you your weekly totals and your monthly totals and all of that. So I set goals on there. My goal this year is to walk about 650 miles. At this point, I'm past that. So kind of maybe a big pie in the sky goal might be try to get to 1,000 miles.
Hey, let's go. I like those 10X goals.
Yeah.
Bang. Let's go.
Yeah. So really just kind of walking as much as I can. I mean, there's definitely, we go on vacation and stuff. Like my wife and I were just up in Michigan and I get up early every day. So I'm just kind of wired to be up early. So it's like, okay, I'm going to take the dog and we're going to go for a walk around the town. And I love it. It's so peaceful. There's nobody out. There's actually one of my favorite things about my route that I walk now is there's a kid. He's probably, I don't know the kid. I should probably introduce myself. He's probably 5th grade or so, but he stands at the bus stop every day, every morning. And every time he says good morning to me and waves. And it's just like, wow, I look forward to seeing him.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's an elderly lady I see walking her dog every morning. And we always make a comment about the weather. So it's just kind of that little, kind of gets you going in the morning, that positivity, if you will.
So cool. Yeah, no, I get 10,000 a day just tracked on my Galaxy Watch. So it typically amounts to about 5 miles is what it is for 10,000 steps a day.
Yeah.
So.
You'll have to check out Strava. It's pretty cool.
I will. I hadn't heard of that one.
Yeah, you can create like different maps or different routes and stuff like that. So and it's kind of cool. You can connect with your friends on there. So see what what exercises and stuff they're doing, comment, like, whatever, kind of talk a little smack to them.
Oh yeah, that's always a good thing. Part of it,
That's one of my favorite
people
things.
motivated.
Yeah. It's like, oh, really? You only went for a 10-mile bike ride? I think you could have done 11.
That's right.
Just a little fun in there, right?
That accountability piece is powerful, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
So
yep.
Well, tell us a little bit about Rise.
Yeah, so Rise Springfield Young Professional Networking Group through the Chamber of Commerce. Been around for a few years now. Nick Gentile and Bailey Woolsey started it. Still involved there. I'm the chair-elect, so I'll be the chair next year. I think Rise is tremendous. What we're doing and kind of the goal of it really is to promote those young connections now. We might not all be business owners, business leaders, managers, you name it now, but in 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, you're going to be able to look back and say, I met them at a Rise event and we've stayed in touch.
Yeah.
Like, I know that person from a Rise event. We've got community service initiatives. I was the community service chair last year before moving into the chair-elect position. We do a clothing drive that's coming up here in August. It's a great professional clothing drive that we put on. Thousands and thousands of dollars of work clothes are donated from people in the community, and then anybody can come and get those clothes. So it's great for people getting their career started, need a little boost to their closet, if you will.
Because that can be a barrier early on in a career when you don't have the money to buy a few nice things for interviews and all that stuff, right?
Oh yeah, we have suits, things like that. You're right out of college, you might not be able to afford a 4 or 5. Some of these suits that we're getting are truly custom. So they're very nice. And we've got some community partners. Grant Hammer from Crafted Stag comes out and helps with fitting. So that's great. But yeah, we do that. We've got Rise and Shine events are in the morning. Those are usually, there's some educational emphasis around those, talk about kind of just expanding your network, what you can do as a young professional to kind of grow into your role. And then we have Rise and Unwinds, which are more of a kind of a casual social type thing. And then every year, this was our first year, we hope to do it every year from going forward, is we have what's called a leadership conference. Tremendous turnout this year.
Yeah, it seemed to have a really great turnout.
We were all very pleasantly surprised with how it went. We've got a great crew now who's kind of running Rise and involved there. And another thing too with that is we had really good speakers that were able to come out, donate some of their time more or less, and spend with us to help us kind of grow and the blueprint for success. Really kind of they're in their position now. We had Mark Densler, the president of the Illinois Manufacturers Association. We had, Tiffany Mathis Posey, the director of Boys and Girls Club. We're there talking just kind of about how they got to where they are. Jamie Toole from Lucky Horseshoes.
He's always great.
His energy is incredible. Yeah. Him, David Ziebler, and Bruce Somner talked about AI and how we can use that to advance our careers. Chancellor Janet Gooch was out there talking about how to build a good team and surround yourself with folks. We had an emotional intelligence panel, really just a great event, all-day event with a networking event after. The amount of people that kind of said, that you could clearly tell we're taking notes. Not a lot of people were sitting there scrolling on their phones. People were paying attention and engaged. So that was really exciting.
Great. That's awesome.
But yeah, Rise, I'm very proud of where we're at. I'm proud to, take over, going to be the chair next year. I don't want to say take over, but be the chair next year.
Be the chief next year.
Yeah,
there you go.
And kind of promote it more and see what we can do, because I really do think we are making an impact on Springfield. And part of it too is, born and raised here, I've got friends, that I went to school with that have moved away. It seems to be a lot of people move away and then move back. How do we keep those people here? And I think one of the ways we do that is by creating those connections, getting them looped in, intertwined within the business community here, making friends. I went to Chatham, grew up playing sports, so I felt like I knew a lot of the people my age, from Springfield, Chatham, surrounding areas, just through sports or whatever social connections. And then, I go to these events and it's like, I had no idea who you were.
Exactly.
Right? We all change, we all grow up, we all get involved with different things. So
that is an issue for us, in that we got to be able to keep more people here, because we're at the chamber event with the state of the city, and that's one thing that they mentioned. That age bracket has decreased as a percentage of our total population over the last 20 years. So we've got to find a way to keep more of those younger folks here, because we're going to need them to grow, of course. Well, Nick, we've had a lot of great stuff today, a lot of great takeaways. Give us one more from the personal side, one more from the professional side that folks can take and help elevate their lives or business.
Yeah. So from the personal side, I would say get involved, do something that you're passionate about, whether it's volunteering. Mentoring is a big thing as well. I think there's a lot of young people out there that are looking for people to mentor them for good advice, for career advice, whether it's career or personal advice. Get involved with a local organization. There's a lot of great non-for-profits out there in Springfield that are looking for volunteers and need volunteers, especially in this current climate, economical climate that we're in right now. A lot of these organizations are pretty strapped right now. So being able to provide that manpower, woman power, help them out, get involved, it's going to benefit them, but also it's going to benefit you. And it's really going to make our community better.
Completely agree.
From a professional side, just manage your time, work hard, realize that at the end of the day, work's not everything. I know some bosses might not like to hear that, but it's really not. Take care of yourself. You can't pour from an empty glass. So make sure you're going to work, giving it your best every day. That's all you can do. And make connections. Go to those networking events, get involved with those networking groups, whether it's a chamber, local first, sustainably professional networking group. Get involved with those organizations because you're going to make connections. You never know where you're going to end up. It's really kind of one of the beauties of those networking groups. It's just get to know people. It might be a business connection, it might be a referral, might be what you name it. So get involved is the bottom line there.
So powerful. And don't click on that phishing link, right?
Absolutely. Do not click on phishing links. And just, think before you click, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Nick, appreciate you spending the afternoon with us. Somebody wants to get a hold of TechGuard, work with you, and have you guys come out and help their business. Where would they go?
Yep. So you can find me on LinkedIn, just Nicholas Koch, email nicholas.koch@techguard.com. Yeah. Phone number 618-979-4980. However I can help, shoot me an email, shoot me a LinkedIn message, give me a call. Genuinely just want to help organizations get and stay secure.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Well, we're going to let Nicholas get back to elevating Springfield, and for the rest of y'all, we'll be back after the break. Since 2000, TechGuard Security has been helping businesses of all sizes around the globe strengthen their cybersecurity, meet compliance standards, and most importantly, stay secure. From risk assessments to security awareness training and everything in between, TechGuard is your trusted partner in keeping your business protected. TechGuard Security, your one-stop shop for all things cybersecurity. Locally trusted, globally proven. All right, how about Nick? Phenomenal stuff. Certainly elevating Springfield with everything he is doing. Hey, let's touch on a few things that we discussed through a 10X lens. Actually, quite a bit of what we talked about is right out of the 10X rule, right? So, hey, first thing, Nick talked a lot about serving their clients, right? Educating their clients. That is huge in 10X concepts. So I've talked a lot about service over selling, right? Service is senior to selling. And when Nick talks about educating his clients, that's really what it's all about, serving them to the highest degree possible, right? Giving them all the information that they need. And he is really putting himself out there for the community, educating everyone. How about that outreach work he does with students? Phenomenal, right? You can certainly see the impact he's having both in the short term and the long term by teaching that next generation how to stay secure online and stay safe online. Next thing, along with service, he talked about volunteering, right, and getting involved. I've talked a lot about this. Grant Cardone always talks about getting involved in your community, getting involved in local associations that are part of your industry, getting a part of politics, getting involved with your church, getting involved with your chambers of commerce, getting involved with community organizations, right? It will stretch you. It'll help you grow. And like Nick mentioned, most of the people that are in those are really great people. So when you're trying to surround yourself with those hitters and those winners and those quality people, that is a great place to find them. And when you are doing that, when you're volunteering, you're not only impacting the people that are, benefiting from those organizations, but you're also benefiting yourself, right? We've talked a lot about staying motivated by helping people. It is a really quick way to get you back up, get you back going, and get you motivated for the day just by simply helping someone out. How about that training he was talking about? His company provides training to businesses, to employees specifically, on how to stay safe and not fall victim to phishing scams, etc. So, in the 10X world, we are huge on training, daily training, building those reps day in and day out, finding those things that are going to help you succeed, help you grow in your career, help you grow in your skill set, right? And that's along some of the same lines as what he's talking about. Consistently having that at the front of your mind, consistently having that training, so it is second nature to you, right? So you're not falling prey to some of those scams that are out there. And when you're talking about 10X training, we're talking about Cardone University, honing our skills every single day like I do every single morning so that we can be more effective in everything we do. Nick also talked a little bit about his morning routine, his long walks in the morning, great way to start the day. If we're going to be 10X in our businesses, we got to be 10X in our personal lives, and we got to be 10X in our health, because if we are not healthy, doesn't matter what our financial wealth is. Remember last week we talked with Kylie Melvin about some ways to stay healthy. Nick is doing that through his morning walks, and it's also a way for him to embed his training in there, those podcasts that he's listening to and the things he's learning about on those walks. So again, service is senior to selling. Keep training and get involved. Keys for the day. A lot of different things you can do. Go back and listen to that part of what Nick was talking about. Find your passion, find what you're interested in, and find a group that fits with that and get involved. Be right back with more after the break.
Hey everybody, if you like what you've heard so far, hey, join us over on Facebook. We have a group and a page over there. You can also join our free community where we will bring you additional insights and strategies to help you elevate your life, your business, and ultimately our community. You can find that link in the show notes. We would love to have you join us. Let's get back to it.
Well, thank you for joining us today, everybody. Appreciate you making us a part of your day. Hey, go check out those previous episodes. Just head on over to your favorite podcast outlet. Search for Elevate Springfield. Should be able to find us. And while you're there, give us a like and subscribe. We would certainly appreciate it. Hey, how about Nicholas Koch today, doing so many great things out in our community while also impacting businesses on the cybersecurity side, helping to keep those companies secure. I'll tell you what, we're going to get back at it next week. But in the meantime, take these actionable strategies. You bring the discipline and follow through, and together we're going to elevate Springfield. Be great.